Welcome back to Tom's World, and thank you for joining me again for another episode of Model Stuff. Today we look at premier wooden ship kit manufacturer Amati Models. If you enjoy programming on scale modeling, then show your support by subscribing to this channel. Leave us a comment, like, dislike, or share the video with friends. Clicking the notification bell gives you alerts when we post new content, or visit the channel Tom's World for a friendly visit for a complete list of all our videos. So Amati Models are probably the one of the best known premier manufacturers of wooden ship models. If we look here, established in 1879, so that would make the company, what, 141 years old? So very likely they know what they're doing. They're based out of Italy, and they've been doing this for a long time. They're probably best known for their Victory model series, these epic wooden model kits with just amazing details. So if we have a quick look at some of their premier products, this is their HMS Vanguard 1787, and there's what the kit looks like. And it's a fully stocked kit, so you have pretty much everything you need to build what we see here on the box, and absolutely breathtaking. I mean, look at this thing. This is one of these things that's just a once-in-a-lifetime build, and absolutely stunning. I mean, you put that on display and that would just be a showpiece. Look at the detail. I mean, to look at this, if you didn't know better, you think that was the real thing. Down to the block and tackle and the cannons and the rigging. It's just breathtaking. Absolutely amazing. And this is certainly not the only one they have. Now, they aren't cheap, as we can see here, 596 euros. But this is one of those sort of things where, again, it'd be a once-in-a-lifetime build that would give a builder years of pleasure and enjoyment. This Russian brig is also pretty amazing. Look at the finished piece. Now, as plastic modelers, I mean, we complain, at least I do, to me, a kit that's got maybe 200 parts in it, but look at this. I mean, these is old-world craftsmanship. I mean, the detail is just amazing, and they're obviously mixed media. I mean, you've got your copper sheeting here, probably metal barrels, string. Now, these don't have resin, I don't think. These are mostly wood models, but again, absolutely stunning. And these are constructed actually using ribbon plank. Now, if you're not familiar with that, I've got a picture here that I've loaded up here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but basically, it almost kind of simulates how real ships are built. We can see that we lay down our wooden keel here, our ribbing goes in, and then our planks, these horizontal pieces here, go across, and then we just plank her up, lightly sand it, and that's how we build it up. And again, old world skills, and this is just like real ships are built. So again, if you're kind of a modeler that's chomping at the bit, looking at expanding your horizons and want to work in wood and a little bit of craftsmanship, these are it. Now, most people looking at this are just in awe, and they're saying, well, I can't build this. This is just unbelievable. Now, the good thing is that Amati's kind of taken that into consideration, and they have these first step models. And what these are is kind of beginner kits, and reasonably priced, about 47 euros. If we have a look at this HMS Bounty, it's a beautiful wooden kit as well. There it is there, but we can see that the hulls are already planked for us. So a lot of the hard work is done, and you got everything in here. You got your string for your rigging, and a little bit of brass here, your beautiful, let's see here, laser cut wood, all the flags, everything you need, and it builds up nice. It's kind of simple, but it gives you a taste, a flavor of actually working with these wooden ships. It's a great place to start. I would probably build one or two of these, get these under my belt before you tackle one of those epic, insanely detailed kits. And they got a bunch of those. Now again, it doesn't even have to be that complicated. In this other model section, they've got these these are kind of arts and crafts style. And again, these are masquerade masks, and these would be for kids and just for people that want to, get busy with their hands. And these are laser cut wooden kits, and very simple. And again, a way to just kind of get started with the craft. I mean, they got these ones here for kids. They have these horses, and that would be probably popular among kids. So there that is. And very reasonable priced. What does it go for? 8 euros. So very, very inexpensive. Now, it's not just ships. I mean, if we look here, they've got some really interesting subject matter. This stagecoach is absolutely amazing. There's the kit there. A lot of photo etch we can see here. And there's the finished item. Now, is that stunning or what? Now, if you're not a shipbuilder or an armor model, you want to build something a little bit off the beaten trail, it just doesn't get any better. And look at the details on the accessories. I mean, these items here would be absolutely fantastic in a diorama. This level of detail rivals any dioramas that I've ever seen. I mean, down to the well, I guess those are what, awnings and the string. I mean, absolutely fantastic. There's the lever action rifles. And look at these crates, and down to the buckles, the chain, and even the rope. I mean, it looks so fantastic. So tell me there isn't anything here for diorama builders or armor builders. Now, there's one other item here I did want to look at real quick. I mean, we could spend an hour on this, but this Blériot plane, now, if I'm not mistaken, this was the first aircraft actually to circumnavigate by air the English Channel. So I'm assuming that that's going to be a tribute to that. And again, the full kit is there for you. And look at this thing. I mean, absolutely spectacular. I mean, the golden age of flight. Oh, just absolutely amazing. Here's your little 3-cylinder radial engine. Look at the detail on the prop down to the nuts and bolts. And this other picture here, look at the springs. Those are probably practical. So this entire landing gear probably is workable. And look at how delicate the PE is. Absolutely fantastic. And I mean, just an age of discovery here on this website, so you get lost for hours. Now, it's not just kits. We can see here that they have this amazing, expansive tool section, practically anything you'd need for shipbuilding. And there's obviously items in here for us plastic modelers as well. I mean, if we just look at the brush section, and they are Amati branded, so they're absolutely top quality, you know, reasonably priced, €223. And look at the detailed brushes. So these are fantastic as well. And again, you could spend hours just looking at this tool section, and only to be outdone by this accessories section. I mean, I went through this and it took me a long time. This catalog is so deep and rich. I mean, for example, if we look at the brass ornaments, just that, anything you'd actually ever need for these ships, you can find here. Absolutely fantastic. So your armor guys are going, well, what does all this have to do with armor building? Well, they have a few items here that are useful to us armor builders and diorama builders. They've got this scale chain. And what's great about it is it does look scale. It's not phony sort of jewelry stuff that we normally use that doesn't look quite right. This stuff is absolutely perfect. My only gripe would be it comes in copper. We have to paint it, but other than that, it's absolutely fantastic. One other item here that I think is perfect for us is this rope material. If I could actually type. You know, we tend to use thread and yarn, other things we find around the house, but nothing beats this stuff. I mean, look at it closely. It does look scale. Absolutely fantastic. So if you've got any sort of need for ropes, tie down, stowage and the like, this stuff is absolutely phenomenal. And there's a better example here. Like, look at this. Like, it does look like scale rope. So really, there's nothing like it. So this would be ideal for any model builders. Now, Amati is Italian, based in Italy. So obviously, the European market's got ready access to their products. But North America, they've got a few suppliers, and they're becoming more available. For example, Ages of Sail, they're based in the U.S. I think on the East Coast. I'm not exactly sure. But you can see here that they've got a, let's see here, Amati section, if I could find it. There it is, their model kits, yep. And, well, let's pop that open real quick. Well, let's look at their classic line. And here they are there. And you can just go ahead and order them right off the website. I did want to have a quick look at some of these here, Amati ones. Let's see here, America's Cup. So again, these are good sort of, you know, kind of beginners, almost pushing, kind of intermediate builders if you want to get your feet wet. This Rainbow with Tools is a great value, $86.99 US. We pop that open, we get this beautiful ship model here, and it comes with tools. So that's fantastic. So again, a great way to get your feet wet in the sort of the wooden ship model building, and absolutely fantastic. And Amati has been very, very friendly to us, very accommodating. They did send us some items. So let's jump off here and let's have a look at what they sent us to look at. So Amati supplies many accessories for not only shipbuilding, for model building in general. And first up, we've got this sail cloth material that they sell. Comes in very plain packaging, just a plastic package, which I've opened up already, and a little label here telling you what it is. So we'll just get it out of here and have a good look at it. And what you get here is 46 centimeters by 90 centimeters, or 18 inches by 36 inches. Retails for about €2.50, $4 Canadian, $3 US. And it's kind of a coarse, unbleached cloth, and it does feel organic, and it does have that nice organic smell to it. Usually this canvas material is made of hemp, flax, cotton, or similar yarn material. I don't have any tech specs, but I suspect it's could be a cotton material. And if we look close at it, it does have that nice weave to it, that scale look to it, that nice texture to it. Sometimes when we use tissue paper and other materials, it lacks that sort of scale look to it, but this is fantastic. And Amati does make several types of this cloth material for different types of ships and different periods. And they also have some for modern ships, and I suspect that's a bit more silky of a material. But this is just plain old sailcloth material, kind of generic stuff. Again, ideal for wooden ships, but also definitely a great crossover material for our dioramas and model building. So what's interesting about this stuff is it does hold creases. Now I'll cut in a bit closer, but basically when we bunch it up and kind of crease it, the creases do hold, which is kind of nice. And that's ideal for our canvas covers and such. And we can almost fix that in place with a little bit of PVA glue, some white glue, and that'll sort of harden that up and retain that shape. So it's absolutely fantastic. Now this stuff's great for making things like tarps or canvas mantlet covers, muzzle covers, bed rolls, tents, and awnings. And this would also be ideal for those dual duplex drive tanks, the DD tanks, the canvas covers. So if you're trying to depict that, that would be ideal for that sort of usage. And also I'll show a couple of pictures off the Amati site where they've built some sacks with some of that amazing scale rope, and they look fantastic and would look great in a diorama for sure. So next up is this tinfoil material. Now this is best thought of as this tinfoil that we have in our kitchen, but it's much thicker obviously. The size is 150 times 100 millimeters or 4 inches by 6 inches, retails for about €348, 540 Canadian or $4 United States dollars. And Amati does carry a number of metal products on their website. In fact, sheeting in brass, copper of course for your copper sheeting on your ships, the tin and aluminum, as well as they've got pipes and bars and dowels and other dimensional metal products. Again, ideal for shipbuilding, but also for a model building and dioramas. So here it is. Now it's very malleable material, and in fact you can see here that it does hold creases. So in a pinch it could be used as a canvas cover, although probably more practical to use that sail material. Now it's very malleable, which means you can shape it very easily, and it's probably a little bit more safe to use than say lead. It's probably not as soft as the lead. Now I'm just going to keep it inside the package because I don't want to really dent it up until I'm ready to use it, but there it is. Now this stuff is ideal for things like tie down straps for tools, and it's absolutely superb for the aircraft guys for their seat belts. Now what you can do is you can apply, sometimes when you get the decals, the seatbelt decals, you can apply the decals right onto this stuff, seal it down with some clear, some clear gloss coat or some sort of other varnish, and then you can cut it out with scissors, and then it gives the seatbelts a little bit of thickness. So keeping a little bit of this stuff in the bench is fantastic. And again, Amati sells an entire line of this metal material for our models and dioramas. So next up we have this Pounce wheel tool, sells for €697, $11 Canadian or $827 US dollars. This is just one example of the vast and expansive list of tools that Amati carries. Practically anything you're going to need for shipbuilding, from jigs to measuring tools to saws to sanding devices, paintbrushes, you name it, they've got it. And a lot of those tools can also be used obviously for modeling as well. This is just one simple example. So Pounce wheel is simply a patterning device, and if we look closely at the illustration on the cover, we can see it's just being run along the sail material to create these perforated patterns, and that we can follow if we have any stitching or anything that we want to add to it. So let's pop this open and have a closer look at the actual tool. So here it is. It does look like constructed out of plastic, but it's probably that high impact stuff that doesn't break very easily. It's got this nice ergonomic design, a little divot here for your thumb and for your fingers, so if you do use the tool for a while you don't get the fatigue. And the finish on the handle is kind of a simulated crinkle paint, which is kind of cool, but it is Amati branded, so there it is. Now one little thing that's a bit confusing is just based on what's on the website and the packaging, I was under the impression that it came with more than one wheel. You can see it's got a little thumb screw here that we undo, and we can remove the wheel and put in different ones. But this particular packaging only had the single wheel, so that's a little bit confusing. So if you do find this pattern doesn't work for you, you could probably purchase the other blades separately. And what's kind of cool too is if we undo the thumb screw, it's got this little guard that we can kind of put over the blade. And that way we can avoid poking ourselves as well as possibly breaking off the teeth. So that's kind of a nice feature. Now the blade is very good quality. It's I'm not sure if it's hardened steel, but it certainly does feel like it's very, very solid. But it does look like it's very good quality and will last a long time. And this wheel can be used not only on the sail material, but also on some of the softer metals. They do illustrate that on the website. We're going to try a little experiment here on styrene to see if we might be able to get away with this thing as a riveting tool. But there it is there. So just by way of a little test, I took a little bit of a scrap sheet styrene and I just ran the Pounce wheel, pressing fairly firmly across it. And there we go. All it takes is just one pass. And you can use a ruler for this as well. Yeah, although it's a little hard to see on white styrene with the bright lights on, but we can see it does a reasonable job of creating rivets. So we could actually use this particular Pounce tool as a riveting tool. And finally, Amati sent us a few of their figurines, and these are metal figures cast in white metal. They range in sizes from 22 millimeters to 35 millimeters, and they sell for about for a single euro, $1.50 Canadian or $1.16 United States dollars. Now these are old school white metal. Nowadays we find resin, photo etch, and styrene figures, but these are old school. They're a little rough. They do require a little bit of cleanup. But I have to say they're absolutely charming. They just have a certain charm to them. I think adding one or two of these, painting them up nicely and putting them on some of these wooden ships would really bring it to life. And again, they've got a certain vintage feel to them that really the newer stuff just can't match. So hats off to Amati for carrying these. I hope they don't go out of fashion anytime soon. Again, they have sort of kind of a charm to them that you really don't get with some of the modern products nowadays. And that'll do it for this episode of Model Stuff. Check back soon for more product and manufacturer reviews, kit unboxings, and our epic build videos. If you enjoy programming on scale models, why not subscribe to the channel? Otherwise, leave a like, dislike, comment, or share the video. Or visit the channel for a complete list of all our entertaining and educational videos. In the meantime, keep your workbench tidy, stay well, and all the best.